Hi folks, good morning. Today we are going to talk about what is OpenShift Virtualization and how to use it on top of ROSA, which is Red Hat OpenShift Service on AWS. Let's go for it. Let's start talking about what is OpenShift Virtualization. So it's the way to run virtual machines in a, let's say, Kubernetes native way. It is basically a virtualization API and a runtime. We use KVIRT for that. And you might be wondering what is KVIRT. Now let's dive deeper on the technical details. KVIRT, as we already said, it is the way to encapsulate virtual machines on top of Kubernetes or OpenShift. So let's say we are using the abstraction layer of containers to encapsulate virtual machines inside these containers. For doing that, we are using libvirt. Libvirt is the library that provides the management abstraction layer. We are also using KVM, and we are going to talk about what is KVM in a few minutes. So the same way we do for plain containers, which is not other thing that encapsulating processes into containers, we can encapsulate as well virtual machines into containers. Now let's go with KVM. What is KVM? So KVM is the Linux hypervisor that was included in the Linux kernel back in 2007. KVM has been used for a long time in products like Red Hat Virtualization, and is being used nowadays in other products like OpenStack, OSP, and RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So we can assure that it's a mature, robust, and reliable product. So if we put all this together, which is KVIRT, that extends this encapsulation model for handling virtual machines in containers, libvirt, which is the management abstraction layer, and KVM, which is the hypervisor that has been used and is being used in Linux, and the KVM process itself, which is the virtual machine that is running in the container, we will have a virtual machine running in a container. So now we go with the specific use case we have for today, which is running virtual machines on OpenShift Virtualization on ROSA. We have been talking about ROSA in previous videos, but basically ROSA stands for Red Hat OpenShift Service on AWS. ROSA, as we already said, is an OpenShift version that runs natively in AWS. It is part of the AWS service portfolio and is supported and operated by Red Hat and AWS. As you can imagine, we can run virtual machines on top of OpenShift Virtualization for ROSA. The requisite that we have here is that we need to use EC2 metal instances. So the way to go is to create a new worker pool with EC2 metal instances, deploy the OpenShift Virtualization operator, and then you are ready to go. You will be able to deploy new virtual machines and move your existing current virtual machines from other platforms into OpenShift. So today we are going to cover a basic use case, which is deploy a new worker pool for ROSA with EC2 metal instances. We are going to deploy the OpenShift Virtualization operator, and we will guide you through the process of deploying new virtual machines from some of the out-of-the-box templates that are available in OpenShift Virtualization. Then let's go for it. Just before starting, we need to be sure that we have an OpenShift cluster available for the OpenShift Virtualization. In our case, we are going to use a ROSA hosted control plane cluster that we have handy. First of all, we will create a new worker pool based on metal instances, and the reason behind this is because we need to run virtual machines on top of metal instances. We cannot use virtual EC2 instances for the OpenShift Virtualization. So for this demo, let's create a new worker pool. You can do it either from the hybrid console or from the CLI. If you want to do it from the hybrid console, you only need to go to your cluster, click on Add New Machine Pool, set the name that you want to set, select the compute node instance type, the number of nodes, whether you want to use auto-scaling or not, and that's all. But today we want to create it from the CLI. So let's go to the CLI. First of all, we need to do ROSA login with our credentials. Then we can list our current machine pools. As you can see here in this example, we have 3 different machine pools. Each of these is containing one replica for every availability zone. So let's create the new machine pool. We can use ROSA create machine pool -- cluster and the cluster name where we want to create this new machine pool, the number of replicas with -- replicas, the instance type that we want to use. In this case, we are going to use c5.metal, the availability zone, and the name that we want to set for this new worker pool. If we wait for a few seconds, after a while, we will see that the new machine pool has been created. That doesn't mean that the new EC2 instance has been already created. EC2 instance has been already instantiated. That means that in a few minutes, the new instance will be up and running. We can describe the new machine pool, as you can see here in the screen. So if you describe the new machine pool, you will see that we want to have 1 replicas, but we actually have 0 current replicas. So we need to wait for a few minutes until the new EC2 metal instance is created and is up and running. Meanwhile, we can go to the hybrid console and we will see that the new machine pool is already defined in the hybrid console. Now it's time to go to the AWS console. If we go to the EC2 dashboard, we will see a new C5 metal instance that is being initializing. So we just need to wait a few minutes until the new EC2 instance is up and running. We have stopped the video for a few minutes and we are back to the CLI, to the console. So let's check the new machine pool status. So as you can see here, the new replica is already up and running. So let's describe this new machine pool and we will see that the new current replicas is already 1. So if we click on refresh, it seems that our new C5.metal instance is already up and running. Same information and same status in both hybrid console and in the OpenShift ROSA console. So we have all set for deploying the new OpenShift Virtualization operator. So just go to the operator hub, search for OpenShift Virtualization operator, click on the operator, and click on install operator. You only need to set the channel as stable, the version that you want to deploy, and the namespace where you want to deploy. I would recommend selecting the default namespace. After a few minutes, you will see that the OpenShift Virtualization operator is installed, and then the first action we need to go through is to create the hyperconverged object. There are a ton of different parameters related to workloads, infrastructure, live migration parameters, storage parameters, etc. But we don't want to set any different from the default settings. This is a demo, so we will go with the default parameters. So at this point, we need just to wait for a few minutes. If you go to the workloads pods section from the console, you will see that various pods have been spun up in the background. So just wait for a few minutes until all the pods are up and running. We can refresh the OpenShift console and we will have a new virtualization section on the left menu bar. So if we click on overview, we will see an overview of the virtualization in our platform. Is empty because we don't have any virtual machine yet. So if we go to the catalog, you will see the different templates that we have available out of the box in our OpenShift virtualization. And if we want to create a new virtual machine from scratch or from a template, we can go to the virtual machine section. For the sake of simplicity, in this demonstration, we are going to use one of the existing templates that we have available out of the box in the OpenShift Virtualization catalog. It's that simple, like going to one of these templates, set any of the available parameters as you want, and set a virtual machine name and click on Create Instance. Now the status has transitioned to provisioning, so it will take a few minutes. So we are going to, in the meantime, we are going to create a new virtual machine from the template catalog. So this time we are going to select Fedora, and as we did in the previous example, we are going to let the default parameters. And as you can see here in this image, both virtual machines are being provisioned at this moment. From the dashboard console, we can see that we have 2 instances already running. So if we click on any of these instances, we can see the information. So let's go to the console section where we will find the username and the default password for this instance. After using these credentials, you will see that I'm able to log into the virtual machine. And let's use a few basic commands to demonstrate that I'm actually logged into the console. So let's see the processes and let's see the server name. Yeah, that's all. I've been able to spin up a new virtual machine and log into the console. We can do the same for the other one. So the same way, we can go into the console, use the default credentials, the default username, which is Fedora in this case, and the default password, and let's run a few basic commands like the ps-ef to see the processes. Let's see the server name. So yep, I was able to spin up these new Fedora instances in a few minutes and log into the console. Now let's see some of the other basic functionalities of OpenShift Virtualization, like could be creating snapshots. So by clicking the snapshot tab in the virtual machine, you will be able to create new snapshots. So just create a new snapshot by clicking on take a snapshot, set the description name and the name that you want to set for this new snapshot, and we need to wait for a while, maybe a couple of minutes, to have this new snapshot created and available. After a few minutes, we can validate that our snapshot has been completed. So if you go to the snapshots tab, you will see the status has changed to operation complete. This snapshot can be used to create a new virtual machine from this snapshot, or even to restore the virtual machine from this specific point of time. Today, we covered a specific use case. We saw how to get started with OpenShift Virtualization by deploying a new worker pool using EC2 metal instances, and then we saw how to deploy new virtual machines by using some of the templates that we have out of the box in the OpenShift Virtualization. There are some other situations, though, that we see nowadays with a lot of different companies that they are looking for the way of doing lift and shift of their virtual machines. That means I have another platform with my virtual machines running on top of it, and I do want to move these virtual machines on OpenShift Virtualization. How we can do that? Fortunately, Red Hat came up with a new tool which is called MTV, which stands for Migration Toolkit for Virtualization, to help those companies that want to move their current virtual machines running on top of an external platform into OpenShift, into ROSA in our use case. Thanks to this tool, companies can elaborate their own migration plans to move their virtual machines that are currently running on top of an external platform, and then move these virtual machines into a OpenShift or ROSA platform. It is quite simple. Companies only need to deploy and install the MTV tool, which is available in the Operator Hub. as an operator. Then you have to connect your external virtualization platform as a source in the MTB tool. Then you will be able to discover all the virtual machines that are running on this external virtualization platform. Then from there, you can create your own migration plans, and you choose whether you want to execute this migration plan at this same moment or you want to schedule this migration plan to run at any other moment. We haven't covered this use case today, but no worries. We already have a few videos explaining, showcasing how to move virtual machines from external platforms using MTP in a few simple steps. So just check out this video and just paste it in here, and you will discover how to easily do lift and shift of your virtual machines on top of OpenShift Virtualization. I hope you enjoyed, so stay tuned for new videos we are going to upload in the upcoming weeks, where we will talk about OpenShift Virtualization and the different flavors of the OpenShift managed version in the different cloud providers. I hope you like it and see you in next videos. Cheers!